Hello everyone and welcome to the Distinction Masterclasses. We're going to be kicking things off in just a couple of minutes time, but until then, if you are around, do me a big favour. There should be a chat box around somewhere. If you can just say a quick hello to let me know that you can hear me okay, and also tell me a bit about you and your business and your experience in the online training world. Just give me an idea of where you are currently in your online training business, just so I can start tailoring this masterclass to you. So if you do that, that would be amazing. And like I say, we'll kick things off in just a minute or two's time. Okay guys, so again, if you are just joining us, we are going to kick things off in less than 1 minute's time. But whilst we're waiting, if you can either just find the question box or the chat box, I don't mind which one, and just let me know a little bit about yourself. Tell me a bit about what you're up to and where you are in your business. And then hopefully I can tailor this class to you guys a bit more. Cool. Okay, I think we've waited long enough for everyone to turn up who's registered. They can obviously come join us a bit later on if they need to. So first of all, welcome to the PT Distinction Masterclasses. This is obviously Masterclass Module 1. And it's the first of 5 Masterclasses. All these Masterclasses are live, so if you have got any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask them either in the Q&A section or ask them in the chat box as we go through, and I'll do my best to try and answer them as we go. Now, this masterclass is all about getting started. So I'm going to go through the basics of PT Distinction. We're going to look at how to set up your first clients, how to build workouts for them, and just how to generally get everything going so you can start having paying clients in. As we move throughout the masterclass, we'll do some more advanced stuff. We'll talk about integrations in Module 2. So you learn how to integrate things into your website and so on. In Module 3, we talk about groups, which makes things incredibly easy for you as an online trainer. And we'll take everything we learned today and basically take all that information and show you how to automate so much of it. And then in Module 4, we talk about automation. So we talk about how to take what we learned today, the groups that we learn about on Module 3, and all the integration stuff we learned about on Module 2. We're going to put all that together, and I'm going to show you how you can actually create a fully automated program if you wanted to. And of course, you can automate 90% of it and then just tweak things and build workouts and customize it for your clients as well. So it's going to save you so much time, effort, and of course, money as well. And in Module 5, we talk about the advanced skills. So we talk about some of the more advanced things. Module 5 is pretty cool if you've been using PTD for a while, because we spend half of it talking about some of the really cool advanced features like how to use scheduling software and things like that with PTD. But the last half of it is based around your questions. So it's just a half an hour long Q&A session. So we can tailor everything to you guys. So that's Module 5. Anyway, let's kick things off. So over on my screen at the moment, you should be able to see my desktop. Hopefully you can. I'm going to give you a quick tour around this just so you know what everything is. So along the top, we have these boxes. The first one is your total number of current online clients. These are live and current online clients. Next to that, we have the total number of print-only clients. So I'm going to explain the difference because that's quite important that you understand that. So an online client is a client that can access everything that you put in their account online. So that means they can access it through the mobile app, through your custom mobile app, through your website integration, or through the PTD mini site. They can access it in all those different ways. Now, an online client counts towards your quota. So when you sign up to PT Distinction, you would have selected a subscription. At the moment, you can see over here that mine is the master subscription. So that means I can have up to 50 online clients at any given time. Now, it doesn't mean I can't go over 50 clients. As you can see there, I've got 56. All that means is that anything above 50 clients is above my quota that I'm allowed. So I'll get charged per month, per client, on top of my current subscription rate. So, for example, in the UK, that would be £49 per month for the master subscription that allows 50 clients. And then on top of that, I will get charged 95p. Just excuse me 1 second, I was about to sneeze. There we go. Sorry about that. That means I would actually get charged for 6 extra clients on top. So I'll get charged a little over £5 extra per month for the extra clients. Now that's only for current online clients. If they are a print-only client, that means they can still have workouts created for them. They can still have all their park cues, all the information collated in one place on PT Distinction, but they can't access it online. So you could print out workouts and give it to them if you want to, keep all their park cue forms and things like that together, but they can't access anything online, whether that's via the app or whether that's for your website integration, the mini site, or anything like that. Now, print-only clients don't count towards your quota. They're not part of your active online clients. What's really important to know about print-only clients is even though they're not part of your quota, you also don't get charged for them. So they're basically free clients. Now, yes, I understand that they can't access stuff online, but like I said, you can print things off and give it to them, which is really useful if you're running operations in studios and gyms and things like that. Another cool thing about print-only clients is you can still send them emails. Now, one of the things we're going to talk about later in the masterclasses is groups, and you can use groups to actually set up email automation and use that to upsell them into products and services that you offer. But it also means that, let's say someone was an online client and there's no longer an online client, you can actually move them as to print only. That will save all the information they've currently done with you, and you can still send them emails to try and upsell them or bring them back into your other programs. So that is why they're really, really useful features inside PT Distinction. And we'll be using those a lot more as we move throughout the masterclasses. Then next up, we have the home button. The home button basically brings you this page. This is your home page. So if you ever get lost inside PT Distinction, just click that button and it will allow you to come straight back to this page where you can obviously not get lost and then know exactly where you're starting from. Next up, we have the add client. We're going to come back to that very shortly. And then we have messaging. So if I click on this message bit here, a drop down menu will appear. If I click on the conversations, there's a list of all my clients that I've got set up at the moment. This allows me to communicate with my clients. If I was to click on a client's name and type in the box down here, I can send that client a message. I can also hit media and send them a video message or an image if I want to. Now, currently you'll see this client is not able to reply back to me. If I want that client to reply back to me, what I need to do is click on the conversations again, go next to their name, and where this is grayed out, click it so it goes green. And now if I click on there, that client can also reply back to me with text, images, or video. So you have to switch that on if you want them to. So if you're wondering why a client can't reply back to messages, that is probably why. So just head in there and do it. Now that is just for one-off messages, and that's just for communication between you and your client that's live and interactive. Close that off, just hit the message button and it will disappear. Next up, we have the alerts. So the alerts basically tells you what's happening with your clients on PT Distinction. So if I scroll down here now, you'll see a bunch of numbers next to my clients' names. These basically tell me how many things they've completed since the last time I've checked on their account. So some are 1, some are quite a few, 124. It all varies depending on what they want to do. Now, at the top is telling me I've got 46 alerts. That means I've got 46 clients in here that all have done something. If I was to click onto one of their accounts, again, these are all example clients, so I'm not going to share any information with you from any real clients, don't worry. It'll take me onto their client dashboard. Now, in their client dashboard, it'll basically show me what's going off in their particular program. It'll show me how much unseen activity there is. It will show me how far along they are in their particular program at the time. It'll also allow me to view bits of their program, such as progress photos and so on, and results tracking. We'll come back to this a bit later on. I just want to show you where it is for now. So I'm now going to go back to the home page. Next to that, we have the More button. This is where we access all the other features inside PT Distinction, some of which we'll be using today, others of which we'll be covering in later masterclasses. Over this side, we have the quick guide. So if you click this green button here, it will open up 19 different videos. These are very quick videos to show you how to do all the basic stuff inside PT Distinction. So if you're ever unsure about how to do anything in particular, just click on one of those and it will show you exactly what you need to do in order to do that. If you want to get rid of it, you can just click the close button to make it small again, or you can just hit this X button here and it'll disappear completely. To get it back, just refresh the page or move to another part of PT Distinction and it'll open back up again for you to use. Then we have these two boxes here. Now, you might be looking at your PT Distinction and thinking, hang on a minute, I don't actually have two boxes here. You'll only get a search bar at the top if you have over a certain number of clients. If you haven't got many clients yet, you'll probably only get this drop-down menu. So this drop-down menu allows you to select the clients or the groups that you are using. And the search box here allows you to search for a client or a group. Down here, we have these images. Now, a lot of people think these are pretty pictures. They're not. If you actually click on them, it opens up a pop-up window. In that pop-up window, it gives you some lengthy tutorial videos about how to do, again, most stuff inside PT Distinction. So again, if you're not quite sure and you want to recap of what we're talking about today, click on these, watch the tutorials, and it'll talk you through everything. Same here for the custom branding. It'll show you how to set everything up for your custom branding as well. A lot of this we do inside Module 2, but if you want a bit of a recap, head over here and you'll find out exactly how to set up your custom branding. This is my favorite one though, getting online clients. If you're new to online training, definitely come and check this out and click on this button. So on here, it gives you a little tutorial about exactly how to get your first clients online. And then down here, there are a bunch of swipe files you can use to help encourage new clients to sign up, as well as lots of information on writing sales pages and so on. Definitely worth checking this out because it will give you pretty much a step-by-step guide on how to get clients and online clients, which is technically what you need to be doing. Otherwise, not have much of a business. So it's important that you actually get that right. So go and check this out, follow this through step by step, and you will start bringing in new clients. Cool, so that is pretty much the homepage. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask away. If not, I'll have a quick drink and then we'll move on. No? Cool. Happy days. So the first thing we're going to do is we want to add in our first client to PT Distinction, and the best way to do that is to come and click the Add Client button. So we're going to click on that, and that's going to take us through to our client page. Once we get onto our client page, a new client box will open up and we're going to type in our client's name. So I'm going to call this one Test. What's today's date? Is the 19th, so I'm going to click 1903. Surname can be Test, how original. And the email address can be test1903@test.com. Bet you couldn't guess that. Then we choose the gender. Today's going to be female. And we'll select whether they're online or print-only client. We can choose to use our time zone, or if we want, we can actually select the time zone of our particular client. Depends how you want to schedule it in. I always generally use my time zone, and it'll automatically calculate them for the other clients. I'm actually going to remove these two bits down here. That was from a different masterclass. I'm going to remove that because when you first set this up, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to be completely and utterly blank. This bottom section here is all about groups. Now, I've mentioned groups a couple of times already. Just to give you an idea, a group is very similar to a template. Now, with a workout template, you would expect to build a particular workout, and then you can tweak them for each individual client once you've copied that information over. Group works in a similar way, apart from it includes more than just templates. It includes things like the PARQs, the informed consent, email messages, in-app messages, videos, coaching utensils, everything basically. You can actually preset up to drip feed out to your clients over time, and you can add that into group. You can actually copy that information straight into the client's account, so it's all set up ready for them, just to save you a lot of time. We're basically going to talk about that in Module 3, but we're going to just talk about how to set this up without doing groups to start off with, so you understand the basics, and then we can apply that same knowledge to the groups in Module 3. So that's what you need to do. Now we're going to hit Save. So once we hit Save, that's going to set up our client, and then it's going to ask us if we want to send an email to send the login details to them. Now, I'm actually going to say no. I don't want to do that. And the reason I don't want to do that is purely because we've got nothing set up in their account yet. So yes, you can send them emails through. When they log in, they'll download the app, and then they'll go inside. They might see a food diary. That's about it. Nothing else is going to be in there. So what I would recommend doing is not sending that information out yet, and actually building out some stuff in their account first. So I'm going to click cancel. And now I'm going to go up to the search box. I'm going to type in our client's name. So it's 1903. I'm going to click on their name, and that's going to take me through to the main client dashboard. Once we get to this client dashboard, it's split into 3 sections. This top section up here is what allows us to add content to our client's account. This middle section is all our client details. And this bottom section down here is pretty much what our client is going to see when they log in on your website. Give or take a few of these things here, they'll not see, like add events and so on. So let's take a look at these. The first one I'll look at is this section here. This is your client details. So if you need to change anything or update anything for your client, this is where you do it. You click on the edit button. And it allows you to update the names if they get married, for example. You can update their email address. You can also switch them from online to print only. Here, though, you have an option to add in a mobile number. Now, the reason you might want to add in a mobile number is because you can actually send your clients SMS text messages through PT Distinction. So to do that, you have to have their mobile number. So to add in the mobile number, select the country where the phone is registered and type in the mobile number into this box. Hit save, and that's all set up and ready. And we'll talk about how to use SMS text messaging more in the integration modules of Module 2 and also in the group modules of Module 3. Down here as well, you have the date of birth. You can put in your client's date of birth down there. It's not just there for good reference. It also actually links to a body fat percentage calculator built into PT Distinction, which we'll talk about later on. Click save, and that will update everything for that particular client. Over this side, we have the notes section. This is just notes for your clients. So anything you write in here cannot be seen by your clients at all. So don't worry about anything that you put inside there. It's purely notes and reference for you. Okay, cool. So if you see here, everything is split up into tabs. We have the schedule tab, the programs tab, the assessments tab, the coaching tab, and the forms tab. To add content into these tabs, we use these sections along the top. So add program, add assessment, add coaching tracking, add forms and questionnaires. We also have an area for messaging. This is where we can set up our SMS text messages, emails, and in-app messages to go out. We also have a section here which allows us to add and remove groups from that particular client. We're going to talk about that more in Module 3. And we also have the option to send login details, which we'll do a bit later. And we also have this More button that allows us to adjust the settings for that client. So if I click on that, it allows us to decide what alerts we get for that particular client. So when we talked about this area earlier, we had a number of different alerts that we were getting. We might not want to get alerts about everything because we might get a bit annoyed if we're constantly getting alerts all the time. So we can actually switch off things we don't want to receive information about. For example, maybe we don't need to know about the margin activity every time they do an activity. Make your changes, hit save, and it's all updated. Also in there, you can delete a client. You can reset the password for your client if they forgot their password. You can also move them to print only. You can also view the activity. Now I'm going to quickly do this because I want to show you the difference between no activity and lots of activity. So if I click on the view activity button, it will take me through to the activity page for that particular client. Now, once we're in here, you'll see nothing has happened. There's no activity to show. It's completely blank. That's because our client hasn't logged in yet and hasn't done anything. What we need to do is start adding in some content for our client to actually use and do some activity on. So I'm going to go back to the client dashboard and we're going to start adding some of that content in. Now, one of the first things we probably want to add for our client is going to be things like a PARQ form, an informed consent, some medical questionnaires. To do that, we need to add in some forms. Now, the forms live in the Forms tab. Now, what's important to note is that forms can only be accessed through a desktop browser. If you access it on the mobile, it will actually ask you to download the app and do it that way. The problem is you can't access the forms on the app just yet. The reason is to do with some data protection rules and laws that we have in some countries that we can't secure the forms enough. So, for example, if your client leaves a phone line around with the app on, an app won't have a timeout feature because that will get annoying if they're doing workouts. And then technically speaking, somebody could steal their phone, go into the PTD app, open up the forms and have a look because maybe they've left their form open with their data on. So at the moment, they're only completed through the browser, because with a browser, we can actually have a timeout feature to make sure that it'll actually shut down and save the form if they do leave it by accident. And then if people do log on, there's no way they can actually get access to their personal information. There's an update coming in with version 3 that's out very, very soon that actually allows secondary authorization on those forms to make sure that's no longer an issue. But I just thought I'd make you aware of it now. So for the next couple of weeks, you still won't be able to access forms through the mobile app. It has to be done through a browser. So anyway, let's add in a form. If you head up to the add forms and questionnaires at the top, you'll see we have a choice to create our own in the custom forms and custom questionnaires. You can also add in some of the preset ones down here. Now you can add in as many forms as you like. They're all added in exactly the same way. I'm just going to add in the PARQ one for now. Now when we add in a form, or when we add in anything for that matter, we have an option to make it live or not. So live basically means that an online client will be able to see it when they log in. Now, a lot of people get live and scheduling mixed up. A schedule is just a diary, so you can put anything inside PT Distinction and add it into the schedule. When it's added into the schedule, it will give them a notification to say it's ready, and they should go and do something, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be live or not. Live basically just means that your client can see it or they can't see it, and I'll explain the benefits of that a bit later on. So for this one here, we are going to make it live. It is a live form. If we was adding something in that we don't necessarily want them to see straight away, we might want them to see it next week, maybe a review form, for example, we can untick that box and actually select the date that we want them to see the form on. But this is going to be live because it's a PARQ. I'm going to click add. That's added into the form list, and now it's giving me the option to schedule. Like I said, I don't have to schedule, but for now I'm going to. So I'm going to hit yes. And I can choose a date I want to schedule. So I'm going to go for today's date. And I'm going to say it's 9 o'clock in the morning. I can add a note down here if I want to, but again, I don't need to. I can hit save, and that's now in for the schedule. So there it is. They'll get a notification through, and everything will be set up for them. Okay, so adding in our form, what other things might want to add in here? So we're going to need some more information from our client, maybe things such as body weight, maybe hip measurements, waist measurements, that kind of thing. Now, the obvious thing would probably be to go to the assessments tab and create an assessment for that client. However, I'm going to advise that you don't do that just yet. The reason is assessments are designed to be done with the trainer present. So that doesn't mean you have to be physically there present with them. It just means that you have to do so over Skype or Zoom or Google Hangouts or something along those lines. It also means that they cannot be completed through the mobile app because the trainer has to be present. They have to be done through a computer, because that's where the Zoom is going to be and all that kind of stuff, and Skype and everything. So because of that, they're not really the best way of tracking basic information, the things such as body weight or anything for that matter that your client can actually input themselves. So we're actually going to leave the assessments out for this, and we're going to leave that for some of the other modules. What we're going to do is focus on the coaching tab. Now in the coaching tab, we have this option here, which says track other results on the bottom. Is that area that we're going to use to actually track this information for our client. Now, before we go into that section, I want to show you what these ticks and crosses mean. So a tick next to these means that is live. It means that if your client logs in, goes to the coaching area on the mobile app or on the website integration, then they'll be able to see these here. They're not scheduled in, they're just live. That means they can see them. If you want to make one of these live or not live for your client, if you head up to the Add Coaching and Tracking button, select what you want to make live or not live, choose Add to add it, and now it's a tick, as you can see there next to the image chart. Or if you want to remove it, just click it again and then hit remove, and it goes back to an X. So that's how you would make things live or not live in this section. Anyway, for now, we're going to look at tracking some results. So I'm going to come over to the drop-down menu here and select View and Edit. So once we're in here, you'll notice that there's literally absolutely nothing set up because we haven't set the tracking up yet. So we need to set some tracking. So you can set up as many different tracking sections as you like. So we're going to do body measurements, for example. You might want to do daily habits. You might want to do I don't know, weekly tracking, daily tracking, for example. It's entirely up to you. For the sake of this example, I'm just going to put in body measurements. And now I'm going to hit add. Now, once we've added in whatever tracking sections we want to add in, we can start adding in some record sets. So at the moment, as standard, we just have the ability for your clients to take notes. If we click add, we can actually add in our own record set. So we could type in body weight. We can then choose the unit we want to measure that in, or we can add our own units by clicking the add unit button, type it in this box, and then hitting add. Click OK once you're happy with all that. Then if you want to add another record set, so you can have some sort of comparison, then you can click add and add in your next record set. So for example, here you might want to put in hip size. And click add. Again, you can add in as many record sets as you like. So once you've set all that up, just hit back to client, and that's your results tracking setup. Like I've said already, that's live, so your client can just go in and complete that if they want to. However, this is a new client, so it's probably a good idea to give them a nudge and tell them exactly what they need to do. So in order to do that, we can actually schedule it in. So I'm going to click on the schedule tab, and this time I'm going to come up to the add event button. It's going to ask us for a date, so I'm actually going to go for tomorrow morning. So I'm going to go for the 20th at 9 AM. Then it's going to let us select the event type. I'm going to come down to update progress. And then you can see here we have the 4 options that we saw in the coaching area. I'm going to select progress photos. Down here I can type a note in, which is really useful if you've got more than one tracking section. So you might just want them to complete the weekly tracking, for example. So you type in there, please complete weekly tracking. Then we can choose to repeat this option. So I want them to track their results every single week. So I'm going to go repeating every 1 week for, let's say, 3 months or 4 months. Click save, and that is all added in, ready for them. So they'll actually get a notification through now tomorrow morning, say, to complete their results tracking. I also might want to add in some progress photos. So again, I can go to add event, select the date for tomorrow morning, and go for 9 AM again if I want to. Select update progress photos, but I only want to do this every 2 weeks. So I'm going to go repeating every 2 weeks. And I'm going to do that again for 4 months. So you can see we've got the first one set up there, only results tracking the next week, and then back to results tracking and progress photos the following week. So I'm going to hit today to take me back to today's date. Okay, so that's all in, but that's all well and good, but how do our clients know how to complete that? Well, of course, we can have a conversation with them, tell them how to do it, or to save us a bit of time, we can actually put some information inside the app for them to use. So if I head up again to add coaching and tracking, you'll see we can actually add in text, PDF, videos, or spreadsheets, so our clients can view all these. So for now, I'm actually going to add in a text document. So I'm going to add text. This is basically just like any old word processor. We can sit in here, we can type up whatever information we want to give to our clients. Once you've actually typed it up, you can actually click this button here and it will add it to your attachment library. Now, your attachment library is an online cloud database of everything you create inside PT Distinction. If you add it to it, you can actually save it there and use it again for other clients without having to retype it. That also counts for anything you upload to PT Distinction. So that includes videos, PDFs, spreadsheets. It's all saved in your attachments library so you can use it elsewhere. If you click on this box up here, you'll open up your list for your attachments library for just your text document. So I've got one made up here already, taking measurements. This will tell my client exactly how to take the measurements that we've set up. I've also got the option here to make it live at a later date. So I don't want to see this straight away. I don't want to see it today. I don't want to confuse them. So I'm actually going to untick that box and set this to go live tomorrow morning. Now I'm going to come down here and hit save. So as you can see now, this is set to go live on the 20th of March. So tomorrow morning, it's going to ask me if I want to schedule it. I'm going to schedule this one because I want to get a little notification through. I can put a note in there saying, right, it's time to take your measurements. This is how to do it if I want to. Again, I don't have to. I'm going to set it again for the 20th. I want it to be just before they take the measurements. So I'm going to go for 9:30 AM. Click save. There you go. You can see the text document is all set up inside there. So I also may want to find out a bit of information about their diet and what they're doing. So I'm going to track their food for a few days as well. So I'm actually going to go to add event again. I'm going to go for the date. I'm going to go for the 20th. And I'm also going to go, actually no, I'm going to go for the 21st. And I'm going to go for the evening, go for 7 p.m. Select, update progress, food diary. And I'm going to repeat this every day for 3 days. So one day for 3 days. Again, I can write notes inside here if I want to explain what I want them to do. Hit save. So there's the food diary set up inside there. So we've got the Parky forms, we've got the results tracking, we've got the progress photos, we've got a food diary, we've got how to take measurements. We probably want to say quick hello. We want to sign up, but obviously we don't really want to get the phone against it. I've sent you this stuff through. This is what I need you to do. So maybe it's probably a good idea to set up some kind of welcome video just to say, hi, this is what I want to do. Tomorrow you're going to complete your results. Check out the document to make sure you know what to do. And then on the day after that, we're going to start doing a 3-day food diary in the evening. So just complete all the information. Something along those lines. So to add in a video, again, we need to add it into our coaching area. So we're going to go up to add coaching and tracking and select add video. We can hit browse from our computer. Once we've done that, we can actually add it to our attachment library, or we can copy from our attachment library again by ticking the box at the top and then selecting the video we want to use. I'm just going to call this one hello. Again, we can make it live or put it live on a later date if you want to drip feed videos out to them over time. I'm just going to make it live straight away, click OK. And I'm going to schedule this in, again, for 9 o'clock today. I can put a note saying watch this first if you want to. So I think we're just about ready now to send this information to our client. So what we need to do is come up here, click send login details. We can include our own message if we want to, or we don't have to, and then click OK. And then that content has now been sent out to your client so they can log in and complete all this information. So now they've logged in, they will go onto the forms. When they log in through the desktop, they can hit view. I'll kind of show you what these forms look like. I'm going to go through this form, complete a few things. I want you to look up here at this alert section at the top. Currently says 46, so I'm going to tick a load of these off. Sign the form at the bottom and hit save at the top. And then hit back to client. Now you'll notice that 46 has now turned to 47. So it's telling me somebody has done something. I've got another alert happening. If I go back to the schedule, I can fill in some new information as well. So I've got the hello video. I can check in, say I've watched that. I can view the text document. I can check in, say I've done that. And we've got the progress photos and the results tracking. So the progress photos, the easiest way to do this is through the mobile app. They can just take a photo and upload it straight using the app. If they're on a computer, they can obviously just hit browse and upload it that way. Tracking of results. Let's get this out of the way. If they hit view, it'll take them through to results tracking area. And they'll see something that looks very similar to this. And in here, they can actually track their results. They can add any notes that they want to, and they can write in their information in these boxes below. And hit save. Now, if they do this over a number of dates, once they've got more than 3 dates, they can actually view a chart of their progress. Can put one more date in for a different month. Hit view chart, and you'll see there we have a chart of our client. So our client can actually see the progress and comparison between the different record sets that you've set up. I'm going to hit back to client. So once our client goes through and completes all this information, we can help to the alert section here, and we'll see we've got the 47, and we can scroll down till we find our client, and we can click on that, and it'll tell us, like it's got here, 6 things have happened. So if we click on that, it'll take us through to the activity for that client. And of course, we can access that activity again by going to more and clicking view activity. It doesn't matter which way you access it. It'll take us through to the activity page. And you'll see now, these are all the different things we've done. 50% overall, so 50% of all the stuff I've set for them has been complete so far. They've viewed all the attachments. They've done no program checks. I've not set anything up for them. It just gives you an overview of what's happening. And then down here, you can actually see everything that's been recorded and the date and time it was recorded compared to the date that was actually set to be done. And you can view each one as well by hitting view and see how well they're getting on. So it's really useful when you're doing your coaching calls with clients or anything like that. So I'm going to hit back to client. So once you've gone through all that, it's a good idea to tick things off once you've read them all. I didn't do it there because it takes a bit of time. But yeah, just tick things off once you've gone through it to make sure that you're actually all up to date with everything for that particular client. So let's assume now our client's gone through, completed everything. We've now got enough information to build up their program. So the first thing we might want to do is add in some nutritional information for them after they've completed their food diary. So let's assume there's the PDF. We've got a bit of a PDF guide that we can use for our particular client. So I'm going to go up to Add Coaching and Tracking and Add PDF. And as before, with the videos, we can browse our computer, and then we can upload it from our computer. We can attach it to our attachments library, and we can also drag it from our attachments library by ticking the box at the top and selecting the option we want. So I'm going to put in Meal Guide. Now I'm actually going to use the live feature, so I'm going to untick that. I'm going to make it live on the Saturday. Okay, and I'm going to schedule it in for the morning. Saturday morning. I can put a note in here if I want to, say, here's your new meal guide. Follow this for a week or whatever. There it is, ready for them. Now, even though that's in the schedule, the client will not be able to see that until that particular day. That's because I've set it so it won't go live until that day. So you can see it because you're setting stuff up, but your client won't be able to until it actually gets that day. And that's not because it's on the schedule. That's because in the coaching area, I've set it to go live on the 24th, which is the Saturday. Okay, so now we've got the nutrition stuff set up. What about programs and building programs for them? So to do that, all that lives inside the Programs tab. So to add a program, come up to Add Program and select New Program and click Add. And this will take us through to the Program Builder. Give our program a title. I'm going to call this weeks 1 to 3. And what I'm going to do now is actually untick the live box. Now, the reason I'm doing that is not because I don't necessarily want to make it live straight away. It's because I'm building out this workout for a client. So if I get distracted and need to go and have something to eat, or I've got to go and train somebody else or whatever, if I hit save and the live box is ticked, our client will be able to see it when they log in. Now, because it's unticked and I have this don't set live date yet, it basically just means I can stop building it and I can save it and the client can't see it until I'm ready. So that's the advantage of doing it this way. Then I'm going to decide how many workouts I want this client to do each week. So I'm going to go 2 workouts a week. I can change the name if I want to. I can just keep it workout 1, workout 2. I could call it upper body, lower body. Again, doesn't really matter. You can call it anything you want. You can call it Monday, Wednesday if you want to. It really does not matter what you call this. Once I've got those set up, next to them I have these little notepads. If I want to write a little note about what is particularly important about that workout day, I can put it in there. Again, you don't have to put anything if you don't want to. Then I have the sections. So these sections will break up your workouts. You've probably seen this before when you're writing workouts where you do A1, A2 for a superset, or just A1 if you just want one custom set. That's the way I write it. Some people will just have custom sets running all the way through one section. It's entirely up to you, whatever your personal preference is. But for today, I'm going to do it the way that I prefer to do it. So this top section, I'm going to call this one warm up. I'm going to do exactly the same on this side as well. So warm up. I could go to this box here, the notes, and actually write down the importance of a warm up just so my client understands why we're doing it, just like we would if we was coaching somebody in person. Then I come up to here, and I have a couple of drop-down menus. This allows me to select the different exercises that I may want to use. So I'm going to hit the drop-down menu. I'm going to select cardiovascular. Then I can choose a subcategory. I'm going to go machine. And then this appears. And this allows me to pick the different exercises I want to use. So I'm just going to go for the row machine. Opens up this section here, and this is what allows me to add the exercise to the actual exercise builder or the workout builder. I can also preview the exercise if I want to find out more about it just by clicking that button, watching the video, and then checking the description below. If I hit add, it'll drop it straight into position over here. It's done that because that's what these little drop-down boxes have told it to. So at the moment it says workout 1, section 8, exercise 1. That relates to workout 1, which is here, section A, which is here, and then exercise 1, which is the position here. If I want it to drop in the same position but in workout 2, I'll just switch that to workout 2, hit add, and it drops down into that position. So let's add another one. Now, I want to add in some mobility stuff now, so I'm going to do movement and prep. I'm going to go for mobilization. I'm going to select cat and camel. And I'm going to go and click add. So if I click add, it's gone straight into workout 2, section A, but it's gone to exercise 1. I don't actually want it in exercise 1. So I could just hit this little X button here, and that'll allow me to delete that exercise, or I can just move it around. I can use these up and down arrows here to switch positions, like so. So that's now in the right position. Now I can use those arrows again up here on the sections to switch sections around and move them up and down. Again, using the X to delete it. But I can also do exactly the same with the workouts. I can move the workouts into a different order by using these little up and down arrows and delete a workout by hitting the X. So I want to add this now into the right position. So I'm going to go to workout 1, section A, which it is, but I want it to be exercise 2. So I'm going to change that to 2, hit add, and in it goes. Now after that, I can add in any variables that I want. So over here, I'm actually going to add in just the time, I think, for the rowing machine. So if I go to the time box, and I'm just going to type in 20 minutes. Now I can type in whatever I want in these boxes. There's no limitations, no maximum amount of characters or anything like that. I'm just going to type 20 minutes in there. I'm going to do exactly the same in the one on the other side. Now, because I'm leaving the other boxes blank, that doesn't mean our client's going to see them. So they'll only see time and 20 minutes. Because there's nothing in these boxes, they won't see sets, reps, tempo, intensity, or rest. They only see that if you put stuff in there. So it doesn't look like you're forgetting to add content or information in for them. And then down here for cat and camel, I'm going to put some reps in there as well. If you want to edit the descriptions of any of these exercises, you can do so by ticking these little boxes here, clicking it where the notepad is, and it brings up the description, and you can edit that particular description, for that particular client on that particular workout. If you want to edit all of them, there's a way of doing it, which is in this bit up here, which is more and edit exercises, but we'll talk about that in later modules. So if you want to edit it just for that particular client, that's where you'll do it, this little notepad here at the side. So someone was asking, that's all. Okay, cool. So we've got the warm-up set up. Let's look at our next section. So I'm going to add a section by hitting the add section button, and I'm just going to call this a strength section. So I like to label these up to make it super clear for our clients. But again, you can put whatever you want down here. It's entirely up to you. So I can't seem to spell. There we go. So I'm going up here and I'm going to pick my exercise, but I'm going to use a search box this time. So I'm just going to type in, we're doing upper body, so I'm going to go for chest. So let's type in chest. And I'm going to find the chest exercise that bench press will do. I want it to be workout 1, this time section B, exercise 1, add it in. I'm just going to add in my different variables. So I'm going to go 5 sets, 5 reps. Tempo can be 2110. Intensity can be 5 rep max. And the rest can be 120 seconds. Nice and simple, yeah? Okay, so once we want to do something a bit more complicated, what happens if we want to add in a superset, for example? So to add the superset, let's add another section over here. And I would type in superset into that box. I'll then come to my notes section here, and I'll actually type in exactly what a superset is and explain it to the client so they understand it. Then I would go up here. I would go into my search box on my drop-down menu and type in a couple of different exercises. So I'm going to do some sort of jump. What should we go for? Alternating jump lunge. I'm going to have to be workout 2 this time, section B, exercise 1. And then the other one's going to be some kind of machine. So I'm going to go for leg. Let's go for leg press, shall we? There we go. And that's going to be exercise 2. And in it goes. So I'm going to come down here And then this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this drop-down menu and switch custom sets to circuit. Now, it doesn't matter if you're doing a superset, a tri-set, a giant set, or just a general circuit. The principle's still the same here. Turn that to circuit. These boxes will turn to grey, and then you can just type in the number of rounds or sets you want them to do in that top box, and it'll automatically populate these grey areas here. Then you fill in the rest of your variables, however you want to set them up. And again, the more information you can put in, the more clarity you can give your client, the easier your life is going to be when scheduling out workouts for them. Okay, cool. So what if we want to do something even more complicated than just a superset or a circuit or standard exercise? What if we want to do things like drop sets or something along those lines? Well, again, you can add clarity using the sections. So I'm going to add a section. I'm going to call this one drop set. I'm going to hit my notepad here, and I'll explain to my client exactly what a drop set is. Then I'm going to go and pick my exercise. So I'm going to go for a lat pull down. I'm going to go workout 1, section C, exercise 1, add it in. Now inside here, again, I can add even more clarity to my client. So we're doing a drop set, so I can actually write in 3 sets, last set, drop set. Like I said, there's no limitations on characters in these boxes. My reps, I can even put information there, so I can do 12, 12, drop set. And then I can fill in the rest of my variables as I need to. Okay, so hopefully that makes a lot of sense about how to add in different information into this. But what happens if you're looking for an exercise and you can't find it anywhere? You can't find it in the PTD database. So you come up to the search box, you type away, nothing exists in there. So we need to add in our own exercise. So the first thing you need to do is hit save. If you don't save this, you lose all the work you've done already. Now, it's telling us here that we have not put this live, which is right. We don't want it live yet. And obviously, we don't want to schedule yet because we haven't got anything set up for this particular client. So I'm going to hit close. Then what I'm going to do is scroll to the top, go to the More button, and come down to Custom Exercises. And that's going to take us through to the Custom Exercise page. When we get here, we can actually set up our own custom exercises. I'm going to hit the Create New button. And we can add in our custom exercise here. So I'm going to go for 1903. We can then choose the category we want to put it in, or we can add our own category by hitting Add, just to make it easier for us to find information a bit later on. We can then browse our computer to upload a video of the exercise. You can upload up to 1 gigabyte, which is plenty. The shorter, the better, because remember, people are streaming this, or they're going to be downloading it to their phone. You don't want to take up too much data, and you don't want to take up too much memory. So short videos, 15 seconds, don't have to be super high quality at all. As long as they look clean and nice and tidy, that's all that matters. Once you've uploaded your video, you can then drag and drop in some images from your desktop. So you can have up to 4 images, and these images are just to show your clients who are print-only clients, or maybe they don't want to use the app, maybe they want to just print out the workouts, the step-by-step guide to that particular exercise. So you can drag and drop those images into here. What's worth noting is that if you drag and drop images into here and you have no video, these are not interchangeable. So it doesn't mean that in place of the video, you'll see these in the app. So this video is just for the app and for the dashboard when you log in. This here is purely just for printouts. That's the only place you'll see them. Once you've done that, add in your description, step by step of how the exercise is done. And then we need to add in some results tracking. But we can't do that just yet. Before we do that, we need to hit save. That's going to save that particular exercise. And then we need to go back into it again to add in some tracking. So I'm going to click Search Exercises. I'm going to type in the custom exercise name. It's going to open up my editor, but you'll see now we have the option to add in some tracking. So I'm going to click Add. This is very similar to what we used in the results tracking area when we were setting up our client. And we can just type in whatever variables here. So we can do reps, we can do weight lifted, it's entirely up to you what you want to put in. Then you can choose the units you want to measure it in, or you can add your own units down here, just like we did before. Make sure you tick this one, start off with for all clients. You can obviously choose the other option, which is not for all clients, so we're currently tracking results for that exercise. Click Add, that will save that. Once you've done that, click the Save button, and then make sure this update box is ticked. Click OK, and that will update that exercise for you. So once that's done, we can now go back to our program builder and add it in. Now, we could just hit the back button. If we hit the back button, it'll take us straight back into our program builder. Now, depending on what browser you use, you might go back in there and you might see everything missing. If that's the case, just refresh the browser when you go back into your program builder and everything will be there. So don't worry, you haven't lost anything at all. But I'm going to show you how to do this in case you actually come to your custom exercises from the homepage and you've just logged in because maybe you've just been out and filmed the exercises. So we're going to go back to the homepage. I'm going to show you how to find the client, find the workout, edit it, and then put it live. So we're going to go to the search box here and search them. Obviously, you can use your drop-down menu if you don't have a search box. I'm just going to type inside here, test 1903. Click the name and hit go to dashboard. Come to the Programs tab, and you'll see it's not live at the moment, which is good. Our client can't see it. Come to the drop-down menu, select Edit. And we're going to add in our new exercise. So I'm going to go in the search box. I'm just going to type in 1903. Select the exercise. I'm going to add it to Workout 2, Section C, Exercise 1, add it in. And I can obviously chuck in my different variables in here as well, if I want to. Come on to the top. I'm going to hit the Save button. And now obviously I have an option to make this live. So I do want this to go live for my client to use. So I'm going to click the live box. I'm going to hit Save. So it is going to go live. And then I'm going to schedule this in. So I'm going to schedule it in by hitting the Schedule button. It's going to open up the scheduler. And on here, I can actually schedule this in for our client to use. Now, you don't have to schedule stuff in for workouts. You could just leave it in the programs area and explain to your client that you want to complete 2 programs a week with at least 2 days in between each one. You could do something like that. But I'm just going to show you how the scheduler works. So select the workout, select the date you want it to start on. So I'm going to go for Wednesday. Pick the time you would like it to start on as well. So let's go for 2 p.m. And then I can repeat this over any given time. So I'm going to go every week for 3 weeks. Click Add. And you'll add it into the schedule over here. So you can see the dates and the times are already set up. Now, if I want to change the acute variables for each workout over time without changing the workout, I could do that in the scheduler. So for example, if I want to have a different acute variables on the 4th compared to the 21st, I can click Sets and Reps here. I can actually change the acute variables for that particular workout, make my change and hit Save. I can do exactly the same for the other workout. So you drop down menu, lower body, change the date, and then click Add. And again, I can change the acute variables if I want to for my other workout. I hit Save, and now that's all scheduled and live for our client to use. So if I go back to client, we can have a look at the schedule and be able to see this. Now, also, we need to tell our client that this is live to use. Now, if it's on the schedule, they will get a notification through, but they probably want to come have a look at it before they get started. So there's 2 ways we can do this. One way is to come to the messaging center here and just send a message saying there's some workouts in there. If you've maybe not made this live yet, maybe we want to not make it live until the Wednesday, you might want to schedule a message to go out to them. Now, to schedule a message, come up to the messaging center here. And then up here, we have email, messenger, and SMS. Now, this allows us to set up messages to go out in the future for our particular client. So I want a message to go out to our client just to say your workout's going to be this afternoon, good luck or whatever. I can hit messenger. I can choose scheduled or repeated. I'm going to go for scheduled. We are going to talk about this a lot more, by the way, in module 2. We're going a lot more detail. I just want to show you the basics now. But have a play around with this and have a go at it all. I'm going to select a date, which is going to be the Wednesday. I want it to go out at 9 o'clock in the morning. And then I can either add in a photo, text message, or a video, which is my favorite way of doing it. Just saying, well done, workout's going to be starting this afternoon. Any questions, let us know. Whatever you want to put in. Hit save, and that's set up ready to go out to that particular client at that time. I'm going to hit back to client. So our client's now got the message through, say to go and check it out. They come on, they will click on the workout in their schedule. They'll be able to view the workout, whether this is through the website, for your website integration, or through the mobile apps as well. They'll be able to see the workouts in here. They'll be able to select them and record their results. They can add in a note to let you know how they got on. And they can also track their sets down here. So as long as the date remains the same, every time they input something for that particular exercise will be classed as a set. So for example, if I put 100 in here and 5 reps and hit save, on the 19th of March, that's 1 set. As long as 19th of March stays the same, and I put another 1 in, that will be set 2, and so on. And again, over time, once you've built this up, you can actually view a chart and you can see their progress over time. Your client can also click this and get a form video. So at the moment, there's nothing to see because we haven't got a client filming anything. But in the app, they'll be able to click a button that allows them to film themselves completing that particular exercise. It will appear inside here. You'll get a notification up on the alert section up at the top, and you'll be able to view them completing that exercise and give any feedback to try and improve their technique. So hopefully that all makes a lot of sense, hopefully. So I'm going to hit back to client. And again, you can track all this information in the alert section, activity area for your client, and take us back to the dashboard. One thing I'm going to show you before we do finish is, let's say we've got this built out and you want to use the same workout again for the client, but change a few things, or you want to use it for a different client, but you don't want to write it out again. You can actually turn that workout into a template. So if you go to Programs, hit the drop-down menu and select the copy option, it will take you back into the program builder, but it will give you the option to rename it as a template and assign it to either another client or to the template section. So I'm going to call this 1903 temp. And then this drop-down menu at the top, you've got all your clients' names in there. But if you scroll to the top of that drop-down menu and select templates, that will save it in the templates area. Hit save. And then to use that template, all you need to go is go into the client that you want to use it in. I'm going to go back to client. Select add program. But this time you can select from template, and that is where you'll find any templates that you've saved. And you'll see there's our new one that we've just set up. And that, everybody, is pretty much it for getting started in PT Distinction. Hopefully, I've given you enough there to actually get your first clients in and get things going. If you've got any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask away. You can ask in the chat box or the Q&A area. Just let me know them and I'll try and answer them as best I can. We do have a couple of minutes before we've got to go. But if not, again, thank you very, very much for taking part. I really do hope you've enjoyed it. I really do hope you got stuff out of it. If you do have any questions after this that come up, feel free to tag me in on the Facebook group. My name is Ash Burley. Just tag me in there and I'll try and answer the questions the best I can. Of course, you can email me as well at ash@ptdistinction.com. Also, if you do need any extra help with setting any of this up, they are the done for you services as well. If you click on the offers button inside this masterclass, you'll be able to find out a bit more about the done for you services and what they include. It just means we can go out there, help you set everything up exactly the way you want it to be set up, and have it perfectly just for you and your business. You haven't got to worry about it and get it done nice and quick. Anyway, I really hope this has helped. And again, thank you for joining me. Hopefully I'll see you on other masterclasses and around on the Facebook group. And I look forward to seeing you all soon. Cheers, thanks. Bye-bye.